It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, it's Friday. It's time for Friday's Fireside Chat. But, folks, I decided not to turn on the Sharp Interactive fireplace this morning. And instead, I turned on the Sharp Interactive Pasture. What a beautiful pasture. You can see the cows grazing on the grass. They're pooping wherever they want. They're having a ball. I mean, it's a tranquil place. But, folks, you know, about a year and a half ago, I wrote an article. And the article was titled The Pasture of Least Resistance. And I was describing a pasture, a place where leaders in the document imaging channel, some of the leaders, were corralling people in this pasture of least resistance, hoping they could hang out there, graze on status quo, and everything would just work out. Unfortunately, no matter how happy these cows are, and a lot of these cows are smiling, I mean, they're just having a ball running through this grass and eating it. You know where they end up? Well, they end up being slaughtered. And I'm pretty sure that if my friends in the document imaging channel don't get out of these pastures of least resistance, they too will end up being slaughtered because the competition's coming and it's coming hard. And I started thinking about this. Why are people hanging out in these pastures of least resistance? And here's the reality, folks. This is a real reality in business. Those that try to help you, they don't want you to go past their skill set. Because if you go past their skill set, you no longer need their help. And a lot of times, some of my friends in the document imaging channel, well, they're trying to corral people into these pastures of least resistance because they don't want you to go past their skill set. It's a reality. Do they do it with malice? I seriously doubt it. It's just a reality. It's a form of business nature. And unfortunately, as our industry is in its biggest disruption it's ever been in, our print business is declining rapidly, we've got to look for alternative solutions and products and services. I started thinking about this. You know, that global pandemic was March of 2020. We're a month away from 2023. And I started thinking back, what have we been doing for these last 3 years? What have we been doing as an industry? The same thing we were doing before the pandemic even started. We're talking about document management. We're talking about managed print services. We're talking about stuff that we already did and perfected before the pandemic ever started. And if we were really proficient in those things, guess what? We would have sold those through the pandemic. But the bottom line is this, my friends. We went to where we were comfortable with, and we doubled down on comfort instead of doubling down on reality and doubling down on relevance. And I start thinking about all the things that we could have been doing over these last 3 years. Do you know what the number one industry in the world is right now? The number one industry is e-commerce. Google it. Number one industry in the world is e-commerce, and we're still having arguments inside the document imaging channel about e-commerce. We're still not able to modify our business processes to adapt to a modern day buyer. And it's really bizarre to me. When I think about IT services, we're still going to these groups and we're talking to the exact same people that we were talking to almost a decade ago about transitioning into IT services. But yet, none of these people that are helping us do that will share any success stories with real validity into how successful those programs are. It's scary. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go where we're uncomfortable. Next week, I'll be at IT Nation. IT Nation is one of the largest events in the IT services community. There'll be literally thousands of IT companies there, hundreds and hundreds of vendors. It'll be a great place to talk to people about products and services that have a life expectancy past a couple of years. The print industry, business print, will continue to decline. It's going to rapidly decline, and we have to look for alternative services and solutions. We have to. It's a must. But yet when I think about what we're doing and how we award ourselves with these nonsensical awards, and sometimes we give awards to companies that don't even have any kind of proven track record whatsoever. And you know why we do that? Because if we gave the award to someone that had a proven track record that was knocking it out of the park, the way they were doing things would be so different from the status quo, well, we'd scare a lot of our dealer friends. So let's give the awards out to people that don't threaten our dealer friends. Folks, we all need to be threatened. We need to be threatened to a point we're so scared that we decide to move forward. We cannot continue to graze in these pastures of least resistance, because a lot of times after you eat enough grass, you fall asleep or you get tired and you lay down like these cows are here. But eventually, no matter how happy these cows are, they end up getting slaughtered. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you to get slaughtered. I want you to maintain a continuous relevance. Some of you are in the position to slaughter some of your friends in the business. That's called competition, and competition's going to get tough as we go through these challenging times. So prepare yourself for that toughness. Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to going to IT Nation next week. You'll see me from the road, but everybody watching me knows this: status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and have a fantastic weekend.